dollar. And, so does that mean that Americans are going to, voluntarily audit their, gold holdings? Obviously not. But the market is going to make them, because basically the marketplace will say, you don't audit, or we'll keep selling the dollars. And so basically we could very much be looking at this massive implosion over the next few months. And the Russians and the Chinese, they haven't pulled the trigger to this point in all this, in-your-face provocation by the West and the United States, because they weren't quite set up, but they are set up now. And I think we'll be seeing, as you said, September. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing, too, from a lot of people. So if September comes, start building your Noah Ark now. You still have a little bit of time left.
Well, I tell you, Daniel Estulin, you look at the provocative moves against Russia. China's engaged in some of their own provocative moves, but the West has as well. I'd say that's 50-50 blame. But I look at the Western establishment. Our elites have never acted this reckless. I've never been to Russia. I don't have a dog in the fight. But I don't want to start fights with people. And I can't see geopolitically how destabilizing Poland, Ukraine, and the Caucasus helps the Euro, the West, anybody. I mean, we are truly, our elites in our name are cut and dry bad guys. There's really no way to change that. Russia is now allied with Egypt, allied with Greece, allied. China was bigger enemies with them than us. They're now buddy-buddy. The globalists have taken America's soft power and you-know-whatted it away, down the toilet. Our elites are super smart, as you know. There's got to be some larger plan. Why would they be destroying our name, risking World War III, and acting so crazy? Or is it megalomania like Napoleon and Hitler got? Do they really think they're invincible? Do they have an ace in the hole, or a bevy of aces, a stable of aces, an arsenal of aces that we don't know about?
I don't think so. I think the question is, it's the British Empire. And what basically happens is that they're going down. The economic cycle is going down. The system itself is putrid, and that's about to be, blown out. And so they're willing to destroy the entire world in order to save themselves. Of course, they're also going to go down. There are a lot of unknowns right now. And the only thing we do know is that if this thing gets started anywhere in the world, it's going to get really, really bad. And you're talking about nuclear nations, not just United States, projecting its weakness here or there against a weaker opponent, be it Iraq or Afghanistan or, Grenada. No, we're talking about China, we're talking about Russia, we're talking about India, Pakistan, North Korea. And if you get into the shooting wars with these kinds of things, the odds are it's going to go nuclear. And if it's going nuclear, we all go into hell.
Well, Mark Dice did a video where 80% of the people, 8 out of 10 people, said, let's nuke Russia so we're superior. They went and talked to Russians, did the same thing. They all freaked out and said, what are you, crazy? And almost attacked the cameramen, because that's a sane response to insanity. And I'm not glorifying the Russians, but what happened to Americans, especially so-called liberals, that they're in this trance because they think the word liberal lets them act like fascist? What happened to the Republican Party trying to sign the TPP? I mean, there really is a collective insanity in the West right now.
Basically, Alex, in the United States, the top two areas where the government is spending most of its money, the first is obvious, it's military. But you know what the second is? Fighting the discontent of the public. That's how much, how much the elite are afraid of people's discontent. They're actually spending, gazillions of dollars.
That's tens of billions a month.
Number two, after military spending, on making sure that people stay in line on every level of society. Because what used to happen in the 1960s and the early 1970s, the protests and so on and so forth, that is no longer the case. You have an occasional thing here or there, but a generalized thing, because this is a country of 330 million people, and there's a lot of simmering, anti-government protest on every level.
Sure, but they're using high-tech brainwashing to pacify the public.
They're using every way possible to pacify the public, There's a lot of games being played, and if you kind of look at what's going on in America itself, there's a lot of not only race wars, but there's a lot of fighting between, groups of people and races, blacks and whites, men against women. You have, Indians against the Pakistanis. You have the Arabs against the blacks, and all of this kind of stuff. The police against, everybody else. All this kind of stuff I have no doubt at all, is orchestrated from behind the scenes, because while you're fighting each other, you don't keep your eye on the bigger prize, which is, survival of the planet itself at the cost of these super.
Sure. So bottom line, the world government is being built The Pope's out there endorsing it, but at the cost of the planet itself. I mean, they may get world government for about a minute and then blow it up.
It certainly doesn't look good. It's a very, very, very scary situation, especially as you don't have, the politicians that we had in the world in the 60s and the 50s, or actually even the Bilderbergers who built Bilderberg, in 1954 and the early 1960s, the people who came out of the, late 19th century or 20th century, they're not there anymore. Now you have the people who are running the show. You have, the crazy kooks who were born after the Second World War, the baby boomers, and they certainly don't have the gravitas of, the Rockefellers and the Jacksons and the Prince Bernards and these individuals who actually put Bilderberg on the map. And so that's why we have the situation that we're in, because the older generation, the Kissingers who are, 90, the Rockefellers that just turned 100, the Brzezinskis, the Schultzes, these people are old or dead or dying, and so they're completely out of the picture. They're just about to be out of the picture. And everybody else who basically runs the show right now certainly doesn't have this long, the distant tunnel vision that these others had way back when.
Well, sure. That was my final question. DanielEstlund.com. I can't wait to get you on. Your new film, 4 or 5 years in the making, comes out. I've seen some of the cinematography, the trailer, truly amazing. David Rockefeller did just turn 100 on June 12th. I didn't even know that. It just seems like yesterday. He was 94 and put out memoirs. I'm told David Rockefeller has faded. That's why Senator Rockefeller retired to take over the reins. For those that don't know, David Rockefeller has been there since his father set up the UN and the entire global government infrastructure. I mean, is anybody in modern world history more important than David Rockefeller? And what's the word on him?
Well, he's completely out of the picture. He's 100, so it's. I don't think he's altogether intellectually can be altogether. Certainly, Gaga is. I don't think he'll be going to any public meetings. I don't think we'll be seeing very much of him because of this kind of this advanced stage. Even if we just put his 6 heart transplant in, but it doesn't make any difference. When you're 100, you're 100. Nature doesn't give time out, and he's out of the picture. But again, him being out of the picture only means that there's nobody else taking over the reins, so to speak, of organizations such as Bilderberg, and also the fact that there's no new blood. There's the people who are there. They all come from the same walks of life. They all talk to each other the same kind of language. And as Bilderberg,
they're in a bubble. They're in a bubble. They're in a bubble. They're smoking their own dope.
Exactly, Alex. They're in a bubble, and that means that there is going to come the time, not too long from now, if we're still around, that Bilderberg is going to be completely, irrelevant, simply because the people who are there, they simply don't understand how the world works beyond, the 4 walls that they operate within.
Amazing. Well, I can't. When is your film coming out? I mean, I've seen clips of it.
The film is done. Yeah, we just needed to put this last little bit of the Bilderberg meeting itself into the film, and it's finished. And we're going to be premiering in the United States in September.
Well, I want to get you on then. Anytime you want to come on, we'd love to have you. Thank you, Daniel Estlund. Amazing information.
Thank you. Sure.
That is thank you, sir. That's a true investigative journalist right there, the highest caliber. Man, that's what I mean. I don't want to fight with the cops. I don't want to fight with the FBI. I don't want to fight with the ADL. I don't want to fight with the Muslims. I don't want to fight with the Black Panthers. I just don't want to nuke the planet. I don't want to inject little girls with Gardasil that sterilizes them on record. I mean, I don't want to take a microchip. What type of government doesn't want you having a garden? People that want you to live in a prison. And man, tyranny is just putting its foot down right now. But the good news is people are squirming. I wanted to finish up with him. I appreciate him holding for 40 minutes. I don't usually hold a guest over to finish him, but I couldn't have Daniel wait because she's fighting hard, and she's got her friend there with her. I forgot her name, but we've got Ms. Freeman joining us from I'mProGoat.com. And she, again, is being persecuted. Her husband's in the military. She had her breast tissue removed when she was, I guess, 19 because of a genetic condition. Goat milk is one of the best milks out there. She's out in a town in California, and I wanted to get some comments from your friend as well. You're both listeners. Really proud of the fact that so many times, I don't want to sound arrogant, but I asked folks on air, are you a listener? And it turns out they are. Even members of Congress that have woken up turn out to be listeners. But it's not just this, me. It's all the guests we have on. It's what we do on this show. But other points that you needed to make about the fight to be able to be self-sufficient.
Hey there. Sorry, I disconnected.
Oh, it's okay. Any other points that you got cut off because the hour ended that you didn't get to finish, then we can put your friend on with any comments she's got.
Yes. Basically, I have my little notes here. Forgive me. I do want to thank, while this is going on, and I don't have my goats, the community has really, really stepped up. I have a lot of local moms that are actually donating breast milk to my children. So as of right now, I've been able to keep them off of formula, which is really fantastic. However, we are fighting. I mean, my husband and I want to have more children, so I am fighting right now to...
well, that's what cutting the resources off is about, taxing you so high that you can't afford to have kids.
Pretty much, basically. Population control at its finest right there. So... basically, I also want to kind of do a shout out to the Info Warriors. I'm already getting some donations coming in, and one of the donations from Lonnie posted the quote, that all it is necessary for evil triumph is for good men to do nothing. That's actually my husband and I, that's our favorite quote as far as political activism and community activism goes. A lot of people, me personally, like I said, I'm a fan of InfoWars. I'm a fan of naturalnews.com. I always read these stories, and I always think it's not going to happen to me. You look at it separate. You look at it as a different, almost like you're watching a story unfold, like a sci-fi story of this government grown out of control and taking away property rights. But the fact is, we're there right now, and it did happen to me. I did not expect to be sitting where I am right now sharing my story with you and saying, see, look, the government's out of control. They're infringing on property rights. It's happening. It's happening now, and it's coming to you. If it hasn't come to you yet, it is coming to you. So I am very, very grateful for what you're doing, Alex.
Oh, please don't thank me anymore. I just wanted you to be able to talk about where you go next, where the fight goes. And then I wanted to see if your friend had anything she wanted to say. What was her name again?
Susan. Let me pass the phone off to her.
Yeah, Susan, spend a few minutes telling us about this fight and where it's going from there. Because, again, if they can shut off our resources, we're captured. So, Susan, what's your take on this situation?
Susan, what's your take on it?
Hi, Alex. I'd just like to say thank you first and foremost. You are like one of my most admired people.
Please don't thank me. Stop it.
Okay, I'm sorry. But if I had 10 people to have dinner with, you'd be one of those 10, just so you know.
Well, you're a sweetheart. Thank you.
Yeah, so I never met Gingy Freeman prior to this. And when I read about this going down in our city, I thought, she needs help. Anything that I could possibly do to help her with this cause. I mean, I look at this as a human rights issue, and I'm just so infuriated. And, I want to see this thing through to the end regardless. And so we're not going away. We're actually gaining more and more, visibility in the community, and we're going to be a serious force. And, it wasn't until this issue that I stepped up and said, you know what, I'm in 100%. So...
I feel like this, but also see it happening. But in my gut, we've reached the tipping point where people are tired of labels, they're tired of race, they're tired of all the divergence. They want freedom, they want it now, and they're not taking it anymore.
Exactly. And so we're not going away, and we encourage people to come join, volunteer. We've got lots to do, and we're learning so much because we didn't really know all that is involved with getting a ballot initiative. And wonderful people from the community are stepping up to help us, but we still have a lot of, ground to cover and money and all that kind of stuff that goes with it. But,
Sure.
We'd like to help other cities, so, we can help them. But if they can help us, we'll help them.
Absolutely. And if you guys win in your town and other towns, it'll become a chain reaction, and is already a chain reaction. We're on the march.
Absolutely,
the empire is on the run. I'mProGoat.com. Folks, go over there, donate, support them. This is a great test case. You couldn't do better, and pray for them and support them. Ladies, I want to have you both back up soon for an update on the Nightly News. Thank you so much. We're going to come back. I'm thanking you. You're not thanking me. You're the ones taking action at the grassroots. It's that first step that's the most beautiful. U.S. troops doing combat training and fighting Russians. I mean, the U.S. military is fighting Russia right now. I mean, crazy in their backyard over Crimea that's been part of Russia for 500 years. There's an article from Phyllis Schlafly. No wonder Obama won't let us read TPP. They've got more sections of it. And it's just open borders, authorizes the president to form a new transnational governance structure, close quote, with the power to compel and restrict U.S. policy. That's from the document. I mean, just that alone we could spend 3 hours on. This is the takeover of the country right now. And we're like in a sword fight, barely beat them last week. We're just like,